architects and builders. Sadali lang. Okay, chapter 6 is entitled Flexure Theory. And chapter 7, Beam Design for Flexure. So chapter 6 mostly is determining the bending forces or bending stresses. Their history, it says here from 1910 to late 60s, we use allowable stress design or service load design. Okay. The assumptions here are the bending force is equal to MC over I. M is the moment force. C is the distance from the neutral axis of the outer surface of your beam. And then I is the moment of inertia. Okay, so we have these assumptions. Relationship between stress and strain is linear. Okay. Then allowable stress for concrete in compression, 45% of F prime of C. Okay. F prime of C, that's the compressive strength of your concrete. Then allowable stress for steel in tension is 50% of Fy. Fy, that's the yield strength of your steel. Okay. Fy, F prime of C, tandaan natin to. These are important variables. Okay, so that's working stress design method. One example, the building is the Palma Hall and the Melchor Hall. Okay, the way they were designed is using the working stress design method. So you would expect that it is conservative. Okay, and then we have the ultimate strength design method. Okay, started from 1977 to present. Concrete does not have a linear stress strain curve. Hindi linear yan, stress strain yan. Later you will see. And then concrete crushes at a certain strain level. So ito yung constant natin for the strain level, which is 0.003. Okay, or 3,000. And then larger load factor for the live load, okay, is assigned because of its uncertainty as compared to dead load. So we separate live loads from dead loads. Okay. Because live loads, the reason why we're giving larger load factor is because unpredictable in live load. They're not fixed. These are changing all the time. Okay, so the assigned load factor would be greater. Okay, for concrete, this is the typical strength gain. Okay, let's say the factor 1 here, that's the factor reaching its design strength. Okay, it says if your design strength, let's say 3,000, we have 3,000 PSI. Okay, at 28 days, okay, the typical concrete will reach its design strength. Okay. And then we mentioned stress strain diagram. Okay. I believe this was demonstrated last time. That compared to steel, the stress strain diagram of concrete is different. Hindi siya linear. You'll see there's no slope here of E, or for steel, meron kang slope na E. It's there. Within the elastic range is linear. But for concrete, you'll see that it's curvilinear. It's curved like this. And then they always fail at 0.00. So when we design beams, we will always mention this 0.003 as its strain at failure. So ito yung basis natin. Okay, the relationship of the water-cement ratio to strength, okay, workability, and of course, the economy of your concrete. The cost of your concrete will depend mainly on the amount of cement that you put there. Okay? So, normally, mas mahal yung mga high-strength concrete because you use greater amount of cement. Okay? Now, water to cement ratio, if you have too much water, your strength will decrease. So as much as possible, the amount of water should only be that amount that is just to facilitate the hydration. Okay? Of course, it has also influence on workability. Okay? Yung workability will influence yung difficulty of placing the concrete. If it's if the water is it's less, so hindi masyadong malabnaw yan. Hihirapan yung mga workers mo to place the concrete. But then there's a way, there's a way to increase the workability with less water or without changing the amount of water that is designed to reach the strength that you have designed the concrete. You call that what? That mixtures, plasticizers natin. You will still be able to place the concrete without adding too much water. Okay, the load factors, this will be the load factors that will be used extensively. For that load, we use 1.4. For live load, we use 1.7. Okay, we mentioned earlier why we are using greater load factor for live loads. Itong L that pertains to live loads. Now, what about this W? What do you think it's the W? Okay, so you have separate loads for wind and then for earthquake then, iba rin. Where seismic effects are greater, W should be replaced by 1.1 E. Okay, earthquake loads. What influences the earthquake loads? Of course, the location of the building, where it is located. If earthquake is occurring often dun sa place. Okay, mas malaki yung factor mo. Now, the amount of earthquake load also it is influenced by the weight of your building. Okay? That's the reason why we have to optimize yung structure natin so that it's not too heavy. Okay? So that earthquake loads will be less. Okay. Capacity reduction factors. Capacity reduction factor phi. It's less than unity. It's less than 1. It takes into account the relative importance of a member to the building's overall structural integrity. Now, for bending, you use 0.9. For shear and torsion, you use 0.85. Compression for columns with spiral tie reinforcing, you have 0.75. And then with lateral tie reinforcing, 0.7. And then for compression due to bearing, you have 0.7 also. Now, what we do here, if I may describe it, okay, we intensify the load that we deem your structure will be subjected to. Multiply ka ng 1.4 for dead loads, 1.7 for live loads. So you intensify it. Now you compute for the capacity or the strength of your structural member, and then you reduce it by a reduction factor. Okay? And therefore, the factor of safety, okay, load factors you multiply, and then divided by the phi factor. So therefore, the factor of safety ranges from 1.55 to 2.43. If you're going to compare this with the working stress method. Okay, but then you don't have too much idea, no? There's a working stress method. We will just focus here sa ultimate strength method. So if I may say it again, ultimate strength method, we intensify the loads that we deem your structure will resist. And then we reduce the strength of your structure, of your member. Okay, so two-way yan. You magnify the force, you reduce the capacity. And therefore, what's the result? What should be the result? Anyone? Your expected result would be you will have a safer structure. Okay? That's what the S here stands for. S, safety. Okay? Meron ka dapat factor of safety. Okay, now for this chapter, it is intended for the moment of AB or flexure. Okay, now if your beam, I've been mentioning beams earlier pa sa mga I-beams, okay, yung for part of the frame, that beam is the horizontal structural member. So if that structural member is subjected to a vertical load, say for example, it's self-weight or even other weights, let's say weights of partitions or slabs, okay? When it is subjected to those forces or bending forces, if this is our beam, and then it is subjected to this bending forces, okay, what happens is this part will be subjected to compression. And then this part at the below the what we call neutral axis will be subjected to what? Tension. Okay, so if you look at the picture on the left, this is what we call the neutral plane or the neutral axis. Now, from the neutral axis, the stress is increasing. Okay, as it goes from the neutral axis going to the surfaces. Upper surface, okay, top surface where it is maximum, and then the bottom surface maximum din yan. Pero dito, it's directed that way. Okay, so effectively this part here is subjected to compression. This one is subjected to tension. Okay? There. Ito yan, no? If, for example, we're not considering yet the reinforcements, okay, it will be this, no? Assuming that this is your D, okay, your compression with the equivalent forces of these stresses, this is compression, this is tension, that direction, this direction. Now, notice that we have a couple here. Now, if you sum forces horizontally, your compression should be equal to your tension. So wala nang ibang forces dyan. Okay, take note, these are equivalent forces. This is the equivalent force of this stress here, equivalent force of this stress here. Okay, therefore, the moment or the couple that is induced in here with this couple, that will be M, that's equal to C times 2/3 D, or the tension times 2/3 D. Okay? Diba, when you are computing for the moment of a couple, okay, the force, which are actually equal, times their distance. Okay? Or itong distance na to. In this case, that will be 2/3 D. Okay, paano naging 2/3 D ito? Because this one is D over 6 or 1/3 of D over 2. Okay? 1/3 of D over 2 is D over 6. Dito. And then therefore this is 2/3 of D over 2. Okay, times 2, that would be 2/3 of D. Okay, that's why this becomes your 2/3 D. So therefore, formula would be this one. Now, taking this block, okay, then you'll end up with this formula. Moment would be BD squared over 6 times FB. FB, that's the maximum flexural stress. Okay, that is found at the surface of the beam. Okay, now considering you will be using singly reinforced beam, okay, the stresses would actually be like this. No? Ito yung sa concrete, ito yung model natin. No? Ito na yung stress due to the concrete. And then these like pipes here, those will be the stresses due to the reinforcement. But then walang nakadrawing na arrows, no? But these are protruded that way. Your stresses are going this way. So they will be too small. So this will be due to tension. This will be due to compression. Okay, question. Sir, bakit wala kang stress for concrete? Kasi may concrete din naman po dito, di ba? Okay, bakit wala? Now, in reinforced concrete, from the neutral axis down to the part where you have your beam is subjected to tension, the concrete will not contribute anymore. Wala na siyang contribution. Okay? For the part that is tension, what contributes there are the reinforcements lang. Okay? Any questions so far? Dito sa slide natin. Question? Okay. If you don't have any question, yeah, thumb sign. Ayan. Just to affirm na you got it. At least nagre-respond kayo. No? Okay, good. Sige. Okay, continue tayo. Okay, now what happens to the singly reinforced beam as we increase the load resisted by our beam? Okay, moderate load. Okay, you have stress to your reinforcement. Ito yung steel bars, mga rebars ito. Okay, they're due to tension. And then the concrete part at the upper portion of the neutral axis is the compression. Ito yung ating stresses, compression niya. Okay? And then this is the maximum stress at the topmost fiber of your beam. That's FC. Okay? FC. And then if we increase the load, of course, what happens? You have increased stress due to tension in your reinforcement. And also increased stress on the concrete part, the upper portion of the neutral axis. So mag-i-increase din yung stress. Okay? Now, at failure load, okay, look at this. At failure load, you have here Fy, the reinforcement reaching the yield stress, and then your F prime of C is at maximum. Okay, or the stress in your concrete, F prime of C is reached. So that would be the failure load, or that is when your singly reinforced beam reach is failure mode. Okay. Now, in the analysis, we assume actually the stress due to the concrete to be this stress block. Okay, it's a little bit, it will be difficult if we will assume this curve. In experiment, this actually is a curve, but this curve is simplified with this stress block. This stress block is called the Whitney stress block because it was Whitney who approximated this. So this stress block can be simplified with this stress block using A. Now, what would be that A? A is equal to 0.85 C. Okay, so at 0.85 C, that will be the value of your A. And then we assume that this will be Fy, okay, for our tension. Okay, now this is F prime of C, and then your compression will then be equal to 0.85 F prime of C times A times B. By the way, B here, what do you think it is? Anyone? Name B. B, that's the width of the beam, no? Let me look at the next slide. Okay. The B is actually this. Ito yung B, no? So that will not confuse you. Sorry. Ito yung B. The length of this side, it's your B, or the width. Okay? Okay, so this will now be simplified. Your compression will be 0.85 F prime C times A times B. Okay, so it is acting A over 2 away from the upper or the top surface of your beam. Okay, yun ang equivalent compressive force now of this Whitney stress block. So from this stress block, I still call it block because this is projected to B. No? This area is projected to B, the width. But it's not shown in this drawing anymore. But don't be confused if I mention block. Pag sinabi kasi yung block, that's 3-dimension. Okay? So ito 3-dimension yan eh. 0.85 F prime C, okay, times A times B. Okay? Now, you might get confused. This is 0.85 F prime C. It's in here, no? And then your A is also 0.85 C. Okay, so you'll notice dalawang 0.85 here. Okay, so your B again, that's your V. And then moment arm, that's the distance of the center line of your reinforcements. Take note, if we're looking at or computing for the moment arm, we consider the center line of the reinforcements. No? So we're not yet complicating this. This is considered the simplest configuration of the reinforcement on a beam. Because normally, our beams are doubly reinforced. When you say doubly reinforced, meron din reinforcement at the compression side. Okay, for this one, wala tayong reinforcement on the compression side. Only at the tension side. Okay, but at least you will see no, how we will analyze a beam. Yeah. So having this as your total D, okay, by the way, total D would be the distance of the center line of your reinforcement up to the outermost surface of the compression side. Okay, so in this case, ito yung D natin. This is our D, the distance of the center line of your tension reinforcements to the outermost surface of the compression side. Ito yung compression side. Okay, if you have this as your A, then your C here is acting A over 2 away from this surface. Kasi, ano lang siya, no? This is a rectangular stress block. So the effective C should be acting half this distance, itong A. So that would be A over 2. Now, the total here is D. So D, the moment arm of the tension and compression then will be D minus A over 2. That's how we got the moment arm. Okay? Any question? Did you get that? Don't hesitate to ask question. Okay. So, okay. So, if you flash a thumb up sign, that means everything is okay. Sige. If you have question, just raise your hand, or you can talk right away. Okay. Sige. Now, since our assumption they are equal, so that stress block for our compression would be this, and then the stress here would be area of your reinforcements, total area, times the yield stress. Okay, so therefore, in here, your A would be equal to AS Fy all over 0.85 F prime C times B. So ito yung ano natin, no? This will be our formula. Now, having also this equation, moment is equal to C times the moment arm. Okay, meron na tayo yan. Of course, your compression and tension should be equal. Now, we introduce a variable here, rho, which is the reinforcing ratio. Okay, that would be AS, the total area of your reinforcement, all over B over D. B, that's the width. D, that's the effective depth. What again is the effective depth? Now, you have to distinguish yung effective depth with the total height. Okay? Iba yung total height sa effective depth. The total height would be the dimension of the concrete itself. Okay? From the top surface up to the bottom surface. That's the height, total height. But the effective depth, that's the distance of the center line of the reinforcement up to the outermost fiber of compression side. Okay? Now, if we will substitute the equation, okay, by algebra, okay, you'll come up with this formula. Okay? Now, I did not show how it was derived, no? But kindly do that as an exercise. Okay? Do that as an exercise. You do it at home. Sa bahay nyo lang pala kayo. No? So, everything you do at home yan. So, do that as a practice to come up with this MR. Okay, now, MR, that would be the resisting moment. Okay, now, notice that we have applied this, what? This phi in here. What is that? You think that phi? Ano yung phi na yun? Now, we are considering the dimensions of the cross section of your beam. Therefore, we are investigating the capacity or the strength of your beam. Now, what do we do with the strength earlier with the earlier slides? What do we do with it when we are designing? Okay, the loads we amplify. The strength we reduce. How do we reduce the strength? We multiply with a reduction factor. So in here, we multiply phi. Okay? So that is your phi. In this case, for moment, we use phi equal to 0.9. Okay? So 0.9 yun. The rest, okay, for example, your rho. Here you have Fy. This is the yield strength. B and then B squared. And you have here 1 minus 0.59 rho Fy over F prime C. So the derivation of this is in the book. Okay? Okay, tingnan niya. So what we do here is we just substitute, no? We have this. Magdagdag lang kayo ng phi dito. Multiply phi in here. So MR is equal to phi times M. So in here, you just add phi. Okay? We have the value for C. And then A, you also have a value here. Just substitute those values. Hindi, you retain the D. No? Nandiyan na yung D. You should come up with this equation. Okay? Now, in the book, there are appendices where you can find this. No? You have table 8.1, table 8.2. Okay? And then there are corresponding rho or what we call still ratio, depending on the strength of your concrete and the yield strength of your steel. So for steel, we specify 40 KSI and then 60 KSI. What's KSI? Anyone? Yung PSI is pounds per square inch. Okay, KSI is kilopounds per square inch. Kilos, and that means you're multiplying it by 10 to the third power, or 1,000. So for this one, it's 40,000 pounds per square inch. Okay? Dito naman, for this one, you have the bar numbers. Okay, when we say number 9, if it's number 9, the cross-sectional area would be 1. So easiest pag bar number 9 because the total area, no? If you say, for example, you said 5 number 9s, right away you know the total area of steel to be 5 because 1 number 9 bar, the cross-sectional area is 1. Okay? Now, when is or why do we consider the rho, the steel ratio? Bakit kaya natin kino-consider yan? Okay. Kindly read the first chapters, chapters 1 to 5, for details on it discusses more detail on what we discussed earlier, first presentation natin. And even this, no, itong steel ratio. Why the steel ratio had to be specified? Bakit pa kailangan na why the steel ratio is to be regulated? Palagay ninyo. They have to be regulated because if at intersections of reinforcements, for example, when the column and the beams meet, diba nagmi-meet yan, may intersection sa mga yan. And what happens there is the reinforcements are too crowded. Now, if the reinforcements are too crowded, there won't be any chance for for some parts that concrete can penetrate. And that is not a good practice. If there are voids inside the supposed structural member. Halimbawa, hindi na makapasok yung konkreto kahit nagagamitan pa ng vibrator. There will be voids inside. So that will influence the strength of our structure. And as far as I can remember, perhaps you were not born yet in 1990 during the earthquake, the deadliest earthquake in the Philippines, when the Hyatt Hotel in Baguio collapsed, and they were wondering why. Kasi maayos naman yung design. Okay. But then initial findings, as far as I can remember, the reason is some part of the structure were void. May mga voids because concrete wasn't able to penetrate through it. That's why it is important that the steel ratio or the raw should be regulated. So that will be depending on the strength of your concrete and your yield strength. Okay, because that will influence the number of rebars that you will use, and if you are considering the strength, that influences then the workability of concrete. Okay, so these are already prescribed steel ratio. Okay, so please remember the formula for steel ratio. Total area of steel all over total area of the concrete or the dimension of your beam. Okay, any question? Now, sample problem 6.1. This can be found in your book. And then you also have sample problem 6.2. Now, let's discuss those two examples. Sandali. Maabot na tayo ng 12 o'clock. So far, do you have any question? Okay, we'll just discuss those two examples, and then we're done for today. Okay, do you see the PDF? Okay, good. This is the problem, no? Example 6.1. It says here the simple beam of figure 6.6 is loaded by concentrated service live load at mid-span. It has the cross-section shown F prime C equal to 3000 PSI and Fy equal to 60 KSI. Will the section be adequate? Okay, let's look at the structure. So this is our structure. You have the beam, which is simply supported. When we say simply supported, it's free to rotate here, free to rotate there. Okay. Now, it is loaded with a concentrated load 20 kips. Okay, this is read as 20 kips or 20 kilopounds. So if it's 20 kilopounds, it's 20,000 pounds. Okay, it is 28 in length, 14, 14. And these are its reinforcement. This is 4, number 8 bars. Okay, total height is 27 inches. And D is 24. Okay, this is the center line of your reinforcements, 3 inches from the bottom surface. Okay, as we've said, we will account for the dead load. First, determine the self-weight, which is the dead load. Okay, it says here it has an overall thickness of 13 by 27 inches. And the unit weight of reinforced concrete is 150 pounds per cubic foot. So this is how we compute it now. 13 times 27, 27 is the total height. So times 150, that's the pounds per cubic foot. All over 144. This 144 here is just a conversion. You know, we are converting the square inches to square foot. Okay, so that we will come up with 366 pounds per lineal foot. Okay. Now, applying the load factor for dead load, we multiply 1.4. So WU, okay, WU, that will be the distributed load in here. Now, there's not drawn any distributed load, but we assume that that is a distributed load because it's the self-weight. So self-weight is applied from this point to that point. So it's a distributed load. So if you multiply that by 1.4, it becomes 512 pounds per lineal foot, or approximately that would be 0.5 kip per foot. Now, pounds, convert that to kips or kilopounds, it becomes that 512, it becomes 0.5. Okay? Now, the concentrated load is also factored to get PU equal to 1.7 times 20. That would be 34 kips. Okay? Now, we have to compute for the ultimate moment. Okay? So, let's review what we did here. We computed for the dead load, distributed load, to multiply by 1.4. And then the live load, we multiplied by 1.7. So those are already what we call factor loads. Okay? But we have to get the ultimate moment. Okay? For a simply supported beam, if you want to get the maximum moment, okay, of course, you have to get the shear and then moment diagram and then compute for the maximum moment. In here, the maximum moment will occur WL squared over 8. And then due to a concentrated load at midspan, the maximum moment that it contributes is PL over 4. Okay, we use the factored distributed load, factored concentrated load, and we get the ultimate moment. Plugging in the values, you get 287 kip foot. Okay? Now, we compute for the raw. Ay, sandali. Parang may narinig akong sound. Okay. This might stop at because the duration I said is only up to 12. Okay, in case it will stop, I will just I'll just borrow 15 minutes now. Tapos na tayo. Okay, we compute for raw AS, that's 3.16 is the total area of steel times 13 times 24. Your B is 13, your D is 24. So your rho will be 0.01. Okay. Now, applying the resisting moment, okay, apply all the values here. So 0.9 our phi, rho is 0.01, your Fy is 60, and then your B is 13, D is 24 squared, because this is squared, and then substituting the values here, 0.59, the rho is 0.01, then 60 divided by 3, and you get 297 kip foot. But of course, with the dimensions we've plugged in here, initially you get kip inch. And then to convert that to kip foot divided by 12. So divide this by 12, we get 297. Now, since this is greater, the resisting moment is greater than the moment, no? The ultimate moment. So therefore, the section is adequate. Okay? And then it says here, furthermore, since MR is only slightly greater than MU, the beam section is properly designed in terms of structural efficiency and economy. Okay? So, konti lang ang difference nila, no? Masyadong malapit. So that means economical yung section na napili. Okay? Any question for the first example? Class, you have any question? Okay, next. Okay, divided by 8 and 4. Okay. Okay, these are the maximum moment. Okay? Maximum moment due to a load. Ito, maximum moment due to the concentrated load at mid span. Ito naman, maximum moment due to the distributed load. Later, ipapaano ko sa inyo, ipapa-assignment ko sa inyo. Dapat makabisado niyo ng itong mga ganitong formula. Now, for the next exercise, instead of a simply supported beam, we have a cantilevered beam. It says, determine the resisting moment for the cantilevered beam of figure 6.7 and the amount of total uniform load per foot that would result from this moment. So, tinatanong niya kung so we have to compute for the MR, the resisting moment, and then having that resisting moment, what's the ultimate distributed load that it can carry? That's what it is asking. Huh? So, ito yung ano natin. This is our beam. It is a cantilevered beam. Okay. Coming from the question, no? For this case, you have a different computation of maximum moment. Okay? So we'll see that in here, it's actually WL squared over 2. That's the maximum moment. But for this one, it is already manipulated, no? Ito, M is equal to WL squared, W times L squared divided by 2. But since we are looking for WU, we isolate WU from the formula of maximum moment. Okay, in here we compute for the steel ratio, no? Steel ratio or reinforcement ratio. Rho, that would be AS, which is 8 inches per square inch, all over 14 times 33. So rho would be 0.017. Okay? So take note, your F prime C is 4,000, Fy is 60 KSI. Okay? There. This is our reinforcement. Now, question, why the reinforcement are placed at the upper portion of your beam? Bakit? Ito. This is the answer. Ito siya. Because for cantilevered beam, this portion, the upper portion, will be in tension, which is the portion that is in compression. Okay, yung lower portion will be in compression. So therefore, your tension reinforcement should be at the upper part ng beam natin. Okay, so this is RC, this is your G. Now, substituting the values for your MR, ito, phi is 0.9, rho is 0.017, Fy is 60, B is 14, D squared, 33 squared. 1 minus 0.59 rho, 0.017, and then 60 divided by 4. So you'll get 12,100 kip inch. Divided by 12, you get 1,000 kip foot. Okay, this will be the resisting moment. Ito yung the reduced strength. Okay, we say it's reduced because it was already multiplied by 0.9 or the reduction factor. Okay? So ito na yung basihan natin. The ultimate moment should not exceed this. So if we want to get the maximum WU that it can carry, we just substitute in the formula. No? The formula that I mentioned, that would be MR, okay, MR equal to WL squared over 2. Okay, that's the maximum moment of a cantilevered beam with length L and acted on by a distributed load. Uniform distributed load, or W. Okay, so plug those in, you know the length, that's 10 squared. We've said that this is the maximum moment that it can carry. So plug that in. That's 1,000 there. So your WU then would be 20 kips per foot. This is the maximum uniform distributed load that it can carry. That your beam, cantilevered beam, can carry. Yeah, this is your WU. Okay. Any question? Class, you have any question? Wala. So flash a thumbs up sign if you have no question. Okay. Okay, so we can stop here for the meantime, no? And then I'll just post your homework, next homework. Okay, until Thursday. Okay. By the way, I asked you to group yourselves, no? I already saw one group, no? Isang group pa lang. So I am expecting how many more groups? You're 26. So those are 6. 4 pa. 4 groups pa. No? So post your grouping. And then on Thursday, then I will post the topics that will be assigned to you. No? So i-research nyo lang yun. And then at the end of the semester, before the finals, perhaps our last meeting, you will report that. No? Okay? Okay ba yun? Ox. Okay. Now, I'll stop share. I asked Tin to distribute now. And please be patient kung hindi pa ipapadala sa inyo. But for those who have received already the PDF file, thumbs up then. Okay, you can get your copy kay In. Yan. Marami-rami na rin ang nakaan. So, I think she sent to you by Facebook, no? Dun sa Google Drive. Okay. So, kindly read chapters 1 to 7. There's part of chapter 7, di pa natin na-discuss. So we'll discuss that again on Monday. Sorry, Tuesday next week. Okay, and I will also give you 2 numbers for your homework. Yeah? Okay na? Wala na kayong tanong? So, pwede bang open natin yung mga videos? I'll just get a print screen. Yeah. For your attendance lang. Ayan. Mga iba sa inyo gutom na. So, reminder lang, no? You're free to eat, no? While having the lecture. Para hindi kayo gugutomin. And we have 2 pages. So, sandali ha. Ayan ako lang to. Okay. Already? I see Mr. Diaz. Kindly open. Hazel. Joshua. Yan. Saglit lang naman to. Okay. No, not the heart, Mr. Diaz. Wala kang webcam. Sige. Miss Hazel. Wala ka rin webcam, Hazel. Joanne. Sira din sa'yo. Wala rin. Joanne, wala rin. Sige. Sandali ha. Then page 2. Okay. Ayos na. Anything you want to inquire or question?